Everyone, my name is Mirella and today I have Joel with me. Joel is my former colleague from Qatar Airways. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Apart from, the bad weather, everything is great.
Well,
Um, and what
I
about
cannot complain
Portugal?
about that. It is actually quite sunny right now,
That's great.
23 degrees.
Oh, lovely. Okay, we don't have such beautiful weather in Poland right now, but anyway, still my mood is fine, so
Very
that's
good, very
more
good.
important. All right, Joel, I've invited you to talk about your career and how your career changed over the last, I could say, 2 years, because you quit
Yeah,
Qatar Airways in 2018, from what I know. And actually a lot has changed from that moment, but I think it's a good change. So could you tell us a little bit about it, please?
yeah. So I left in April 2018, so that will be 2.5 years now. I
Mm-hmm.
decided to take a break, so I took a sabbatical after Qatar. So I was using the ID90 tickets that we are fortunate to have, and I was entitled to a few of them. So I traveled quite a lot during that year. I went to Mexico for my flatmate's wedding, which was a great honor and privilege to be there. Then I went to Poland for a birthday of a friend of mine, and my birthday, it was in July.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to another wedding of a Qatar Airways colleague in Macedonia. So I was still very much in touch with Qatar Airways friends and my life there through those events.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took 6 years traveling. That was something I wanted to do for a long time, like travel for uninterruptedly for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Asia. I cycled all over Taiwan. I cycled in New Zealand for 3 months. I went to Vietnam. I went to Cambodia. I cycled in Iran. 6 months traveling. It was great, and it was something that it's ticked off the bucket list. It's done. So that was a way of celebrating leaving Qatar Airways and enjoying those perks, of course, and then come back home uh, filled with a heart filled with those trips and ready to actually start working and be focused on now my life in here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was what I did, and it's been 1.5 years. I worked in tourism, so it wasn't such a big change in terms of the industry that I was working at, because it's still the hospitality industry. I still have to take care of people, which was still part of my day-to-day job in Qatar. And now I'm working as a real estate agent. It just started last month. So because of this situation now, the tourism industry is it's not really what it used to be in Portugal. So there's pretty much no tourism industry right now. So I decided to take another challenge and to work in a field that I'm actually very passionate about, real estate. And let's see, it's going well so far.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And this is what I want to ask you about, because in our previous conversation, you told me that actually at some point you decided to look for an apartment for yourself. And when you found something that you really wanted, you told the real estate agent, that one day you would be colleagues.
Yeah,
And this is amazing, because you said that, okay, you're passionate about being a real estate agent and generally about properties, but like you had this certainty to tell him, okay, we're going to be colleagues.
yeah, yeah. That's right. It was 4 years ago when I said that. 4 years ago when I bought my apartment, and I met him uh, just by luck, because I went into the store, and turns out he was an ex-flight attendant with Air Portugal. So
Small world.
he left Air Portugal, and then he became a real estate agent, and he had been doing that for many years. I think he's retired already.
Mhm.
But anyways, yeah, there was sort of a good chemistry between us, a good understanding, and that's why also I said that, because I felt okay. So you are sort of an inspiration. You also left a flying job. I will leave soon. And soon was 1 more year actually, but I was already thinking that that could be a good idea for me, and something that I would like to try.
Mm-hmm.
And here you go. Here we are, and I did that actually. What I had in my mind at the time, I'm doing it now.
Mm-hmm. Well, exactly. But you say you're saying, and here I am. But it's definitely not so easy, or at least for people who fly, who still fly, or who were just made redundant in the couple of months before. How did it happen that you became the real estate agent?
You apply to the job, you go to the interviews, you get hired. It was just like that.
Mm-hmm. But you had never anything to do with this field.
No, but in the end, and this is what I was told in training, and I was told even before, the real estate field. It's not a house selling business. It's a people's business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same. In the end, what I've been doing all my life.
Mm-hmm.
My work experience is mainly customer service based jobs that I've had. So that the idea of providing a top level customer service, it has been sort of the same since I worked in England. I worked in in Qatar as a tour guide, as a real estate agent. It's always providing the best possible service, and also very important, and this is a touch point between Qatar Airways and this job. It's also attention to details, and this was something I knew already because I had done my research, and I sort of knew what the job entailed. But it was funny to hear in the training also that they said success in here, it's doing different. So you have to do something different than the others are doing, and attention to detail. A lot of attention to details, and we hear that on a daily basis in Qatar Airways. Attention to detail, and doing different maybe in terms of exceeding expectations, and that was also something we did, and the values of the company were exactly that, those values. So I see the parallel between my previous careers and my previous jobs with this one, and I take all that experience into this one, and it's not that far-fetched. It's not that different, and maybe many jobs are not that different if we really think to the core of what they are. Unless they are highly specialized jobs like being a doctor or an engineer, where you have to study a long time to achieve success, and to have an opportunity to become that. I think many jobs at the base, at the core base, it's just they have the same values, and if we can bring that experience into a new career, which maybe some colleagues are now thinking of starting, maybe it's good to see where their strength is, where their strong points are, what are some of the points that they are very strong and they have developed over those years, including with Qatar Airways, and they can use that to their advantage when searching for a job, when going to a job interview. I feel that was what happened in my case.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, definitely. But you also mentioned the passion, and I think this is the key, right? It was something that you were really, interested in, something that you wanted to know more about, you wanted to learn more about. And of course, you didn't know that it would be really your job one day, but definitely you wanted to try. Yeah, you wanted to explore, dig deeper, and see if that's going to work for you. And as you say, it's working quite well. So I see that, the problem usually is that we have some barriers in our heads that, okay, this is not for me because I know nothing about it. I don't have this kind of education. So our way of thinking is always like, quite straightforward. Or I don't have this, I don't have that. So this is not for me because I know nothing about it. Yeah. but generally, as you proved, you just go for the training, you apply for the job, or you get the knowledge if you really need to. But this is also something that is not impossible.
No, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And one other thing that is quite scary for many people who still fly is the 9 to 5 job. That's why I asked you when we were starting if you're going to work today, and you said that yeah, because it's a good day to meet the clients. So how do you deal with this pattern of the routine?
Very well. I really welcome it. I'm very happy to have a routine. I usually get up at 7, and I did. I was reading already before. I don't turn on my phone usually. Sometimes I do, but I try not to. So I have sort of 2 hours for myself. I go exercise. I exercise. I read. I think. But it's something I clean sometimes from the night before, which I didn't do my dishes. But it's a time that it's just for you, and it's non-negotiable. That time, from 7 to say 9:30. In this job, it's also the schedule. You are the one in control, so it's pretty much up to you to manage your own time, and you don't have a boss like on top of you telling you what to do, even though sort of my manager calls me every day and he wants to know what I'm doing, and he gives me advice and he gives me ideas and he gives me more contacts and more customers to work on, and yeah, I'm being well received and I'm being well taken care of and treated at the company, but still you are your own boss in terms of managing your own time. And it might be in a way a challenge, because in Qatar Airways you had someone, it was a very structured schedule, and you knew when you had your days off, you knew when you had to report for duty, you knew all that, and your time was managed by the company and you just abide by that. Now it's another situation. It's liberating, but at the same time it has its challenges, because you have to be the one disciplining yourself. So yeah, it's something that now I feel I need a structure, and I need the routine. Otherwise, it's easy to get distracted and to not do the tasks that you have to do in order to achieve success. That's something also that they've told in training, which is actually the number one in Portugal is in my office, working in my office, and he's like an inspiration for everyone. He's like the Qatar Airways of real estate agents. He's the number one, and he gets all the awards. And when asked about the secret to success, he just said, "I don't have anything to give to you. Like you won't hear anything on his presentation. You won't hear anything different than what you've heard in training. The difference is just I apply what I've learned, and it's difficult for many people to apply the formula and what they teach you. But if you do, and obviously it demands hard work and sacrifice and focus mainly, then the results will appear. And that's the problem sometimes when we are our own bosses, we don't have the focus. So it's always that challenge, where in Qatar we just had it. Now with this kind of freelance jobs or independent jobs, or wherever job where you are in charge, it can be difficult. So I think there's pros and cons. I'm embracing the routine life, and yeah, I think I need more routine. Actually, I haven't had enough of routine. I need more and more routine, and I need more structure, and I think the results will start to appear the more you do it consistently, because if you do things consistently and if you do the right things, then you will have success.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So what's the most attractive part of the job for you?
Right now, this job,
Yes.
just the learning curve is, I see let's say there's the point of the starting point, and now I think I'm still in the beginning, and I see so much potential to learn and to develop. That really excites me now. Something that I feel like a little out of depth in terms of. I still have a lot to learn. I'm not an expert yet, but I really want to become an expert. I really want to learn more and more. So I can be like my manager, who has 20 years of experience in the field, and we just ask him something and he knows the answer. He knows, he doesn't have to go to do the market study. He knows the prices. He knows the average of the market. He knows a lot. So that comes with time. But I see it as an opportunity to grow in all levels, actually, not just on terms of real estate, but also in terms of speaking about success and being entrepreneurial. There's a lot of tools and a lot of seminars and courses even within the company that I will still take. It's a never-ending learning. Like we also had in Qatar, some courses and refreshers courses and everything. But this is really exciting because it's really, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot still to grow.
Of course. Development is, a never-ending story.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's also one more thing that you told me. You told me a little bit about your plans and your goals. And actually you admitted that you're still open to change, that you're not saying that what you're doing right now is, something that you'll be doing forever, because you have lots of other ideas and lots of other things that you would like to try. So do you think it's because you are a person like this, you have this kind of personality, or the previous job in Qatar taught you to be this kind of person who's not afraid of changing places, going from one place to another, trying new things? You're not just afraid of anything right now.
I think it's a mix of both. And yeah, it's a mix of both, definitely, because and I'm not sure if I'm addicted to change, but because I've changed a lot during my life, and most of my adult life was spent abroad. I've had different careers, different jobs. Even before Qatar Airways, I was already living abroad before. So yeah, it is, and also the reality and the realization that I have very present in my mind, that we have one life and life is short, and we should try to have as many experiences as we can in terms of work also. So if you have the ability or the possibility to change, and if it's something that you see brings you a certain joy or brings you fulfillment, why not? For me, it definitely does, because it has been very rich. When I think about it, it definitely has been very rich, the life I've had so far, and I could see it on a different way, saying I'm not a specialist on anything. I'm not a specialist 20 years in real estate, which now I would be a specialist. But it is still very enjoyable, and I still don't. I don't have the feeling that I'm done yet with life, or to settle with something that I'm not 100% passionate about. And going back to passion, which you mentioned, I worked as a tour guide for 1.5 years, and I'm very passionate about that. That's a job that I will always be able to do if I want to. And when the tourism industry picks up again, if I decide and the doors are open, even the company I was working for, they say the doors are always open. And I can also do my own business, which was my idea in the beginning. But yeah, that avenue, that path, I know I can make a living. Now I'm just trying to make a living with another door. And who knows, there's another door I want to try, because why not? One day I will be old and physically I cannot try doors anymore. I will be, there will be time to rest, and there will be time to retire. But now I still, I gave myself 1 year for this, and who knows, maybe 2021, it's a year for another change, or and I haven't excluded going abroad again. I haven't excluded anything. It's always a matter of reassessing where you are at a certain moment, because you're always growing. You're not a, and then you're always evolving, and life circumstances change also for many people. In a way, mine are still very much free, so I don't have any responsibility that would tie me down to a place or to a job. And and that's a luxury I have. So I have it in my mind, and I'm ready, and I'm open for certain other things. But as of now, I'm very happy with it, and we'll see where this career is going to take me, and see how much joy I will get from it. I was with Qatar 6 years, so that was the longest I have been in one place.
Yeah, I think it's kind of average. The first average is between 2.5 and 3, and then the other one is between 6 and 7, and then people resign.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, great. So basically, we could say that the most important things for people who are in this situation right now, that they are either thinking of changing the careers, or have just been forced to do that, is to think about the transferable skills.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that if you've lost this job, you have nothing, you have no experience, or you can only work in hospitality because you don't know anything about any other jobs. You just need to focus on the strong points of the job, and to look for something that is quite similar. Yeah. So in your case, it's the customer service, it's the attention to detail. I would just say the possibility, the great knowledge to to work with people. Yeah. We know how to communicate. We know how to come across the needs of others, and how to satisfy the needs. As you said, you're going to meet your clients today because it's a great day, because people have more time and so on. So you actually try to make them happy, and this is what we've been taught to do, in a really, really great way. So all these things really matter, while choosing the new career and focusing on the new points. Because sometimes when I work with a former cabin crew, they say, well, I don't have any strengths, because I'm just like all the other people who have just been made redundant. But it's not true. Because there's always something, as you said, like you need to try to do it in a different way than the other guys do it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what advice would you give? This is always my last question, or one of the last ones, to the people who are in this difficult situation. You've already said that we always keep growing. There is always another door somewhere, so why not opening and checking what's there. But what else? Is there something special that comes to your mind?
Well, it's just a matter of assessing where you are in life. I think I can only give my personal experience, which is always what I've been trying to do so far. You assess where you are, you assess your goals, you assess where you want to be, first of all, and then try to find a job that will take you in that direction. Now, we know it's hard. Sometimes there's not many jobs available, and maybe not the ones we want, not the ones who are well paid. I know, for instance, I can tell you this, it's also about being adaptable. And a good example of this, it's a friend I have from Air Portugal. As you know, many were made redundant also here. And what is she doing right now? She's working at Lidl. Adaptable. No shame in that. I have another friend who has had some personal issues in his life, and he's still waiting for a job um, to come. Just, but that doesn't mean that there's no jobs in the market. So it's always about it's about your mindset in a way, because there's no lower job, or there's higher, better paid jobs, and jobs that are not uh, so attractive in terms of the salary. But when push comes to shove, when you really need um, to get that paycheck at the end of the month, it's all about your attitude. And even working in the groceries, it's from a flight attendant to be a cashier. Some might see it as a big drop. Maybe it is in terms of salary, but it shows resilience. I think from the attitude point of view, and it shows also willingness of working through hard times, because now it's a hard time in Portugal also. Everywhere is a hard time, not just in Portugal, but Portugal was very much dependent on tourism, and that is something that is it sort of we had the economic crisis, and then because of tourism we sort of recovered very well, and we were growing for the past years. But that shows also the problem, and yeah, the risks that when your economy is very dependent on one industry, then when something like this happens, which no one was predicting, the whole economy suffers, the whole country suffers, and there's not many jobs. Whoever has a job right now should be grateful, and if you need a paycheck to pay your bills, to put your son to school, to if you have responsibilities and you don't have anyone to help you, I feel there's always some sort of work you can do. Might be more demanding, might be more hours and less money, but that's when the tough show what they're made of, in a way. Now, if you want to also aim higher, invest in your education, invest taking maybe some course. Many colleagues leave and they become pilots, they take the pilot course. That's fantastic, because they plan that, they save for that vision and that goal. And there's other jobs that also demand a bit more of investment, but if you think before, or if at least you have a cushion, a financial cushion, which is something, if I could say something or an advice, I think always spend less than what you earn and have a little financial cushion, which is something that maybe we well, not maybe, without a doubt, many times we encountered colleagues who didn't think like that. It was mainly carpe diem, let's live the present and let's have fun today, and who cares about the future? Well, the future comes very soon, and then we are in a situation like this, and you can be redundant, you can get fired for a silly thing, and
You can get sick.
you can so many things can happen. And if you don't have a little bit of savings for those unexpected times, then maybe, well, you have to deal with those consequences. But starting now, if you can, and I'm doing that already also, even I made my savings, I have my savings, I'm comfortable, but even now, because I see the future is unpredictable, I'm trying to cut my expenses in terms of to the bare minimum. So yeah, that's what I would suggest. Manage your finances wisely, and set your goals, and follow your heart. In the end, it's all about following your gut, your instincts. Take risks.
Exactly. That's the point. We shouldn't forget that what really matters, at this point, is that you actually have this chance to really start doing what you want.
Yeah.
Because with the experience, with some skills, I think the experience is definitely the biggest asset. because you've been around the world, you've seen things, you've talked to people, so you really learned well to interact with others. You're going to find yourself in any situation. And even yesterday, I had this chance to do a small interview, and I actually talk about myself. And the woman who asked me some questions said, "Oh, so you do so many things which are so different." Because it's, you know, on the one hand coaching, on the other one it's training, then it's doing conversations in English. But it's, for me, it's not really so much different, because I still work with people all the time. So even flying for me was the same kind of job. Yes, I quit school after 8 years of being a teacher, and I started flying, but the job was actually the same, apart from, okay, maybe I didn't have to stand in front of the board and explain things, but I had to stand in front of people, you know, with a tray or with a card, and tell them something, and still actually they had to listen to me.
Absolutely.
Right, in a sense.
You still had to explain things. You still had to explain how to fasten the seatbelt and pull.
Yeah.
And those kind of things.
And then what you have, what you can offer, what you don't have, why you don't have it, you know, like what are the rules, why you cannot drink on ground, and so on and so on. Yeah. So it's always about interaction, just like with students, with people from different companies, with clients who want to do some coaching. It's always about talking to people, listening to them, and replying, reacting. Right. Okay, fantastic. So thank you so much for your time. I just wanted to add one more thing, because I actually never share the stories when I do the interviews. But our story was quite funny, because we flew together to Georgia. And a few months ago, you found me on Instagram, which was quite incredible. You texted me and you mentioned the flight. It was a quite special flight, because it was the first flight on which I took my parents as my passengers.
That's right.
And of course, we had an amazing time in Georgia, in Tbilisi. So this is...
And I found the picture during the quarantine. That's the thing. I was going over the hard drives, and there was the layover in there, and I saw you and your parents, and then just a few days later I see you on Instagram, and I don't know even how I came across your...
You probably saw the interview, the picture with Samina, our grooming officer, because at that time, it was the time when I did the interview with her, and it really went viral. So
it was it was, I was organizing all my my hard drives and the pictures and everything, but I have to send you that picture.
please.
And it was our first time in Tbilisi. I think for me it was, maybe for you too.
Yes, as well.
I remember your parents, and I remember we went for a nice restaurant, and the CST was super. Everyone was nice in that but I remember they got lost, and then they went to different restaurants, and it was like, but it was good. But the spirit was very good on that layover.
But we
and those are the memories that you have sometimes. Sorry, you were saying?
We ended up in the restaurant where there was a wedding, and we had the chance to...
there was dancing. It was crazy. Yeah, it's good stories like that you miss from flying, which sometimes they would happen, and you would find a good set of people and people who actually you had joy at the workplace, so it was very enjoyable.
But it also shows that, you know, we can find ourselves in any situation, even in even at a wedding of people we completely know, and we can go everywhere, we can have fun everywhere, talk to people, dance with them, and do anything that we want, actually.
That's true.
Right. Okay, so we're ending. Sorry?
Happy times.
Yeah, happy times. I miss the times, but I cannot say that these times right now are, well, okay, apart from the pandemic. I still think that, you know, the reality that you create after flying can be equally attractive. And mine is, I need to admit, I would be lying if I said that it's worse right now. But it's, of course, the matter of choices. Yeah, the matter of choices, and reversing your way of thinking as well a little
Yeah,
bit.
and being content with what you have, because that's the secret in the end to life. If you're happy with what you have at the moment, if you're happy with what we had in Qatar, and be grateful when you're there,
Mm-hmm.
and not be unhappy and then leave and then miss it, which happens sometimes,
Yeah.
as we know. But it's all a matter of attitude, and if you're contentment is a great quality to have.
Mm-hmm.
It will make you stress less and enjoy more.
Yeah. But sometimes the thing that you're missing is not actually really something that you miss. It's more the memory and this kind of easy life. So if you really change this way of thinking to asking yourself like what do you really need? Do you really need that? Or for how long you really need that? Then you can actually come to the point that you realize that okay, it's not something that I need for the next 10 years. I can actually have something equally good, but in a different place doing something else.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally agree.
Right. So
Good.
it was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, likewise. Good to see you.
Thank you
Thank
once
you for
again, and hope we can catch up soon. And definitely, I do recommend you as a tour guide. So if you guys
Yes.
go to Lisbon, and this is my plan definitely for the next months. Have no idea when that will be, but definitely when I told my father, he was like, "Yeah, yeah, I agree. Let's go." So for sure, we're coming in the next few months, and it will be great to see you. It will be amazing to see Lisbon. And I'm looking forward to that.
It's a great place. Welcome. Your family as well. You and your family are very most welcome, and all the colleagues also, ex-colleagues and colleagues also still there. Yeah, most welcome to Lisbon.
Thanks a lot. Have a
All
great
right.
Saturday.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.